We're
It's
still
done.
not
It's
gonna
done.
use the 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 new
Chill
intro.
one.
We can try the new song one day.
Hello,
Chill track.
everybody.
But
Hi everyone, Ron here,
hey,
Variable Play, and welcome to another open game night.
open game nights.
Woohoo!
And with me,
And we're back. Hi, I'm Denmark. Hello.
in
Hello,
the
everyone. Javi here.
What? What was that in my
Yar!
ear?
Here's,
Yar! I'm
here's
Kyo.
good gaming night.
Keo the pirate. What's
Turn
up?
the
Arr.
lights down and
Arg.
roll
Arr.
those dice, babies.
Yarg.
What's up,
What's
everybody?
up?
Good evening.
Hello. All right. So it's a new year. It's our second episode. We didn't have one last week, although Ron had
We-
a.
Yeah,
Yeah, Ron did a thing. He did invite
I,
us to his
I played
thing.
Ron played the Fisherman's game, card game thing
No.
app.
He played with fishermen.
I
What?
honestly thought that we were gonna be playing Forgotten Realms. We're
Yeah,
gonna-
whatever happened to that?
It's like, oh, let's go. Okay, so put up a a link, and then nobody joined. I'm like, okay, I guess I have to play again. Let's just play the game.
So today
oh,
is
okay.
officially
Apparently
our
they were-
second real
Second
episode.
episode of the year.
So it was a-
Second time's the charm.
wait,
We'll get it
you're
right on the
saying
third,
that
people. We'll get it
me
right.
playing Fisherman card game is not a real episode.
I mean,
Is that-
as a group. My bad.
So solo
That's a
gaming
group.
did not count as an episode.
Okay, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. No. Nope. Sorry, I'm staying clear. All right.
What have you guys been buying or playing? Any
Buying?
new purchases?
Somebody's
Buying.
buying.
Good point.
Buying.
Good point.
You don't buy games.
We do.
What?
They're all runs.
Oh, you borrow games?
Just take them from Denmark's collection and bring them home.
Oh, that's stealing games.
If you say that enough times, I think people will actually believe you. They'll just show
That's
up at
how
our house.
a lot of governments survived for
Yeah.
4 years.
You get that stuff behind Denmark is just a green screen, people. There's actually a much larger game collection behind it.
Is that a screen?
You get an attic.
I don't know. You've done it too many times that I can't tell the difference, man. My reality is all bended.
Excellent. Smithers. Hold on, I'll finish my work.
I don't
So-
know, man. I've mostly I got to play a little bit of Magic over the weekend, and other than that, no other gaming really. So nothing new since the last episode.
All right. I recently got
Epic.
tiny, epic dinosaurs. It's the most
Dinosaurs.
adorable.
Wow. So they're dinosaurs, but they're tiny. They're really like going with
But
the
they're still
ultimate
epic.
moron. Mini Jumbo.
Yes. And
Are the dino meeples cute?
interestingly enough, because before the show we were talking, and we were talking about some worker placement games, one of which is Agricola. This has some similarities to Agricola, except that it's super streamlined. Like,
So we're not playing it?
oh, okay.
But you said the forbidden A word.
I recall.
No, it's only a small part
Stop
of it.
saying it. La 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 la.
Oh, we know
Sorry,
what game
nothing.
Javi doesn't like now.
Well, that's a giveaway.
How about the C word?
No.
No, there's other C words that I do like. It's just, when it takes a century and involves spice.
Caverna?
Why is there so much hate for that game? I really can't understand.
I just don't like the game. It's
It's-
not.
it's
It's,
like-
just everyone has the right to like it. I just don't. That's it. That is just my stance. Man. I
It's
just
like
don't
that
like it.
game beat you up, left you for dead, and stole all your property, and that's how much you hate that game.
No, it let me down. It let me down, man.
it got his hopes up and then it let him down. But
that's
I
worse
wanted
than
to
getting
show
robbed.
you the reason why
Oh, okay, okay.
because it has a lot of these small dinos.
Small
I will get
dinos.
one. Let me see if I can.
It's like a plain cheese dog. Oxymoron, baby.
What is wrong today?
It's a
Hey,
lizard.
look, that's a
Oh, it's a Brachiosaurus.
But you have to put "epal" in the end of it. So
Flippersaurus.
Brontomeeple.
Hey,
What's
look, it's
that
a
called? It's
Is
that
that the guy with the
Toroto.
horn thing?
the Toronto
Yeah.
dinosaur.
the Torotosaurus.
Okay, fine.
Toronto meeple.
bring out the
Fine,
Triceratops so we can call
Yes,
it a
yes. Here you
triple.
go. Here you go, guys. Here you
It's a
go. I
triple.
know.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the horny
fucking
one.
overreact. Oh, it's a
Oh,
Triceratops.
Triceratops.
No,
It's the
it's
horny. It's the horny one.
Triceratops.
Trihornosaurus.
Oh my gosh.
so anyway. The reason,
Science.
so
Funny
I
how all of their names are so complicated, but then there's just Raptor.
Yeah, what's a raptor?
Raptor.
Yes.
Well,
yeah,
Torotoraptor.
so it has so many dinos that I had to like really
Right.
figure out a good storage solution. So they have these sort of unique dinos, the sort of
Not you.
sea dinos, some green, the
Rare,
Back in the box.
Legendary.
red ones,
common, rare,
And-
legendary.
and the
Wow.
Big
That's a lot of
Stegosaurus
dinosaurs.
ones.
That's
And
a
then each player have their own. So like, okay, there are so many tiny tokens. There's too many tiny tokens. I gotta find a good storage solution. So I can easily distribute and set up a game now because I
Yeah.
got the
Cool.
good.
When did it
storage.
arrive?
Oh, I just got it from the store. It's available in local circulation.
Yay, that's good news for people that like big, tiny things.
So I got that.
I'm
And
done.
this one.
exit.
Interesting.
That particular one. That's very specific.
Well,
I have yet to play an exit
I-
game, so please tell
I
me
have
one.
not tried any exit game.
+1.
And I was like, I don't know.
Is
Okay.
does it have to be played with more than one player, or can it be ran solo?
1 to 4 players, but you can play it solo.
Dude, make it a show.
Yeah.
It is a one-time use game. It's like,
Ron
Yeah, it's
Exits,
a one-time use game.
episode 1.
like, I wanted to play. There's a few sort of. Like, if you are a viewer
Here comes
would
the
like to see me play and spoil
Comment now.
Yeah,
these
come on.
games,
I dubbed the Exit Ron.
Exit run?
exit run,
Escape run. I think that's better.
escape run.
The name
Maybe
of the game is
unlock
Exit.
run.
And
No, there's
No,
a few of these. Different.
There are a lot
I
of
am not gonna
things
add to that.
that could go wrong.
Ron Exits, Ron Escapes.
another run escapes.
All right. Yeah, I would like to see it. See, hi, Ivan.
Oh, see, I would like to see that.
I
Yeah.
told you, man, I
Which,
speak
which one?
for-
Unlock run
One
or
one,
run
yeah.
playing exit games? Which one?
So the problem is if I play
feel
those
so
games,
validated by this
if
right
I play
now.
those games, it's going to be like you don't need to play that game. But you could laugh on how poor I'm gonna be at solving puzzles.
Figuring out.
And
Maybe they can. Maybe they can help you.
That's
Shamefully,
cheating.
no,
So
it's
you play
it's
an
one
exit
to
game with
X
a
number
live
of
studio
audience
audience.
players.
They could help you on
It's
that
one
one.
with 1 to X number of audience
Right.
players.
So Ivan can help you when you go live.
There you
Okay.
go.
We will put that up
There's two of you.
as a schedule.
All right. Can I go next? Are you done?
Go.
All right. Speaking of dinosaurs, I got
Oh,
one too.
oh,
Woo, look at that.
Gods love dinosaurs.
Gods love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
that's why he
What? What did I do again?
he
It's
he
not
burns them
God.
all.
So
It's
many
God.
questions. So many questions.
Yun nga eh.
What about
God,
gods?
you get to
No,
choose who to
if
be.
that was true, then why aren't they here?
Which
No.
gods or dinosaurs? What are we talking about?
Take your pick. Take your pick.
Totoro.
so so in Gods Love Dinosaurs, it's an abstract game, but what you're trying to do is you're
What?
trying to it is
Wow.
abstract at its core.
From the get-go, just to disconnect. What?
No way. Let's tie this all together. The theme goes is that you're one of the gods who's taking care of the dinosaurs and you're fond of them, right?
Oh,
But the
okay.
game and how it goes is that you're trying to build a delicate or a balanced ecosystem where you're trying to raise prey so that predators could eat them and that dinosaurs could eat them and lay eggs. Because the way that you win is if you have more eggs, dinosaur eggs than anyone else, and dinosaurs. So that's how the game goes. So it's tile drafting. As you draft the tile, you create an ecosystem with those prey, and whenever that column runs out, then it triggers. Then the prey or the predator will reproduce. The prey will reproduce, or the predator will eat.
Why is this sounding like evolution?
No, well,
I don't know.
most of those dino games would always have like some sort of
So
two of the same species. Then you add another kind
oh, they
of
have different kinds of
setup.
mechanic. Like for the saber-toothed tiger, if it eats two preys, then it reproduces. For the eagle, I
dinosaur?
think three,
See, that
and then
is
the
evolution. See,
then the
it sounds
maybe they
like,
got a few from evolution, and then
but you
the,
know what? I'd like to try it out.
we will the dinosaurs move 5 spaces, but it has to end on a mountain, and you just it's really a balance of not overpopulating your prey because your predators will die out and you won't
What
have
is
dinosaur points.
what are the tiles? Is it
They're two hexes joined together that looks like an 8.
Oh, okay,
It looks
gotcha,
like an infinity
gotcha.
loop.
Now
And
now the pathing makes sense.
the guy who made this was the guy who made Magic Maze, and it's amazing how he jumped from a silent co-op into something that's tile
But it's still
placement
silent.
abstract. Yeah, solitary, solitary. Yeah.
Like you more likely still be silent,
And
but he's no longer requiring it as part of the game rules.
and there's also this game that I've been looking for the longest time, and here also. It's Minara. It's a co-op dexterity game.
Ah, the yeah, the platform thingy where you pull
Yeah.
the
That
you
is
pull out the
columns.
tower, the columns.
Not
There
for
you go.
big
Thank you.
So
And then you put it up. So it's basically Jenga, but like Euro level Jenga.
So they
yeah,
made it co-op. They have someone
Euro
else.
Jenga.
I'm not kidding.
because you have this set of cards, easy, medium, and hard. You flip one, and then you have to do the task. Sometimes it says add two columns on the same floor, 3 columns, so on and so forth. The weirdest one is where it's asking you to lift a whole floor on top to the highest floor with all the columns without dropping it. So it's like Minara is a magical place that you're trying to rebuild, and sometimes that's what it does. So you have to do that without making it tumble over. But
Yeah, I've seen people play this in Ludo back in the day,
it's fun. Yeah, it looks fun. And to be
and
quick,
we can only play it in that sort of Euro area because everywhere else it's going to be very chaotic back during that
yes,
time where it's super packed, and remember those days when you can still
Remember when people used to game outdoors?
yes,
in restaurants too.
in restaurants, and they don't shoo us away or issue executive orders to make
On
sure
our,
that we are never allowed.
and, and finally, on our weekly family game thingy, my mom played Clank with us, and she
Oh,
loved it.
nice.
It was amazing.
Nice.
She
Nice.
loved it. Although she lost, but she was laughing her the whole time. And she keeps on hating on my brother whenever the dinosaur, I mean the dinosaur, the dragon flips and they have to pull from the bag.
Me,
Yeah, ang ingay mo. That's the whole point. Clank.
And also Tricky Tides, pick up and delivery with the
I
compass
wanted to
thing.
try that. I
You
wanted
played
to
it
try
yet?
that.
Tricky
No.
Oh, it was Javi I played it with.
Yeah, I played that. That was when we were still at South District. That was fun.
There, she liked to both of it. Although in Tricky Tides, I only played without the monsters because it will further complicate things. So that's what I've been gaming with this past few
Awesome.
weeks.
So,
Wow.
and last but not the least,
Me?
No,
Forgotten
some other
Water?
guy.
Yeah, I've been learning how to play Forgotten Waters, both tabletop and remotely, which I will definitely prepare for us. It's pretty easy, and I've been buying loads and loads of dice.
yes,
Or
I-
yeah, I saw that one.
You see that picture there? Look at
Yeah,
that. That's a lot of
Wow.
dice.
so pretty.
don't worry, buddy. I'm right with you.
There you go.
Did
All right.
did Angela release her Kakanin dice already? Not yet. You should get
People are
those.
waiting for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I showed it
Yeah.
to some friends. They're interested.
I,
know,
I
I just
so
have like dice that's laying around everywhere. So
Hey,
So-
you can't
so how
have
does
too many dice.
reach
How
out
does,
anywhere. There is dice.
how does Forgotten Water play? How does it go?
Forgotten Water, it's a crossroad type game, so more or less you make choices. In this case, it may seem colorful in the box, and actually it is. It's actually pretty silly, and that's why that's the appeal of the game. You guys remember the old game Monkey Island, the adventure
Yes.
game?
The
Imagine the
computer game?
humor of
Video game.
Monkey, a video game on a computer.
Day of the Tentacle,
Yeah,
full
those-
throttle.
Imagine Monkey Island. No, 1 to
Salmon
7 players.
King's Quest,
Oh, okay.
Leisure.
King's
Oh,
Quest,
okay. Never mind.
Police Quest.
It's nice
Hand
that
of
they
Fate.
kind of took something more like comical in a way for the crossroad system.
Oh yeah, it's the appeal of the game is it's all in figuring out. Okay, I don't know what's gonna happen because I want to know what's happened. I want to know what's happening.
Nice.
I know the writers are excellent. They're really really good, and the voice actors. There is not a single page in the game now that is not voiced.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a
They
full
really went
production.
all out. That's
I
pretty
hope
good.
they had that during Dead of Winter era.
Actually, there is. There
There is
an
now?
app for the event card, and it is read out by a voiceover.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
But I think I'm not sure if it was an unofficial app, but I remember that I did play with a group that they did not use the Crossroad deck. They had the phone app.
Okay.
Oh, so it saves
Cool.
you space, huh? So Ewan,
Well, one deck of cards. Everything else is still in the game.
which requires a physical game that you in on hand, which means the remote play application they made for the game was pretty extensive, and you don't
Mhm.
need any more the cards, but you still need the physical board game itself. So it's pretty neat.
Right.
Let's schedule it.
So-
Okay? Yeah.
So how did it go? How's your first few plays about
I
it?
played it with my
More
family,
important
actually.
question
My
is-
sister, her boyfriend, my dad, and they actually liked it. They actually enjoyed it. Rolling a D12 never felt so good. Like, do I need to roll high or no or low? I was like, I don't know. It's just turn to page ganyan. Every time you learn, every time you throw your dice. So you're like, I want to hear what the voiceover is. And when I say voiceover, it's not just one voice. It's a lot of actors talaga. Ang galing.
Really?
Wow.
Maybe it's just one
Yeah, not
guy
about-
who can do different voices.
It's just Liam Neeson.
There are ladies and kids, and there are even no old guys, obviously pirates.
We
So
should
that's
play
it.
this.
Yeah, we will.
All
Ayun,
right.
that's what I've been up to. Yeah.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right.
Nice.
So
Hey,
then-
hey, before we go further, thanks and hello to Wilson De Jesus, Christina Carpio, Ivan Muit,
Hey.
Danielin Gapas, Kai Cruz, and Angel Villanueva. They
that's
like our
more than
page.
2 names of people watching. Are they watching? Like
There's
now?
five people
Hey,
watching. Six. Like,
welcome. More than two. Yeah,
more than two.
I'm
I
And
mean, what?
oh, now
Wait,
it's four. Now
now
there's
it's
four.
4. We just lost
Javi,
one. We just
Fine.
lost one.
I'll say the A
Fine.
word again, okay? Agricola.
A good call.
Agricola.
Okay.
Agricola.
So,
Ah,
Ricola.
hello Wilson. Hello. There you go. See. Hey,
hey.
how's bird watching? Wingspan. I think that's his favorite game. Ron Teruel said that's your favorite game. So I remembered.
I guess there's a question. Is it better than
Bird
Oh.
watching.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Okay. Today we are gathered here because a few weeks ago we've been chatting on our chat room, just throwing around ideas, and I can't remember. I think it was me who was interested in learning if there was a science to find out if there's a way that we could find out why we end up playing the games that we like, or collecting, or having these preferred games on our shelves and the games that we play. And it was an interesting conversation. So hey, let's make this into a topic. So that will be our topic today. What are the games that we've played before or in the past, or have not played for that matter, that shaped our preference or taste in games today? How many games have I said in a sentence? Twice, two, three. No, two, just two. So
Games
we
that shape our taste of games
when we
today,
game
while gaming,
today.
during games.
The
Or
most redundant
games.
guy wins, okay? The most redundant. Okay,
Oh,
so I'm a
So
gamer who likes games before I played games, and then playing games now may me have a preference of games that I have games in my shelves right now.
so we would also like to hear from you guys. What games helped you become the gamer that you are today? Maybe that's better, right? There you go.
Sure.
So I'd like to read
I
too.
guess it's not necessarily games that like you started your collection with. It's
Right,
not
right,
games that brought you into the hobby. It's more specific towards games that kind of led you towards your preferences.
right. Before
So,
we went
yeah.
live, we were talking about, let's say hypothetically, and I don't think it's hypothetical, but I know we all started some point with the Resistance or Avalon,
Yeah.
either of the two, right? So all of us have played that, and then somehow from that game, how did it branch out into something different, like for Euros, for Ameritrash, for RPG, Dungeon Crawl, deck builders, worker placement? How did it branch out? What are those games? So it's just amazing to
Avalon was pretty new already for me back then, so I'm very interested in what you guys have to say prior to that Avalon era.
Okay.
All right,
Okay, I
so
actually have quite a lot.
Who's gonna go
friend.
first?
I don't want to go first because I don't know.
I'll
I'm
go
not sure
first.
about my, I don't know
I'll
about
go
my
first.
list.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I'll go first.
We have a
Okay,
I
go,
am
Gio.
I have the most generic games. I have the most generic
No,
games that brought me to
I
where I
think
am.
my game number one is pretty generic too, but go ahead.
Chess. Ron will say chess.
Okay.
Or songka. I bet it's songka.
No.
Checkers with Tansans. No.
Checker. Dama yung tinuro ng lola ko eh.
Dama.
All right.
Seriously, we're moving out of the realm of those kid games that we grew up. It's more like those kind of games that actually gave you an idea that there's something more than just Monopoly,
Yeah.
chess, checkers, and all
Yeah.
that.
Modern.
Like something that, let's say, that you enjoyed, that you wanted to buy, and actually like, "Hey, I want to start a collection with this, like, or it could have been something that you had such a maybe a negative experience with it. It's just like those games are not for me.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
definitely.
Cool.
Negative games. Yeah, sure. I have one here.
Maybe we should have done 2 episodes.
That was Denmark's point. Like, should we split it?
So I guess I started obviously with Magic. I won't elaborate. I'll let Javi do that. So, given that the whole fantasy genre of Magic, plus me being a comic book collector back then, I was leaning towards something that will, get me into board gaming better, or at least an RPG or those minis that I always see. I saw Mage Knight all over back then, but I couldn't get into it for some reason. And then came HeroClix,
Mm-hmm.
Marvel, the very first series, the very first season one of the very first one. So those the initial set was just whoa, mind blown. Like, oh wow, Wolverine, the brown and yellow one, not the
The old
yellow
one.
and blue one. No, yeah. Oh look, 1990 Cyclops. Those kind of things, right?
Mm.
From HeroClix, I ran over to Shadowrun, a very old type tabletop war game where you need to buy a full 6-inch toy.
Yeah, like the full
Literally,
figure.
the
Buying
full
gear.
figure.
Yeah.
Literally, your dice depends on what equipment you have, and you want more equipment, and you can mix and match for everything that you bought. I only got two, lost one, so I still have one. But that was very epic for me back then. But that was short lived. And then obviously someone offered me D&D fourth edition, and then we played it every now and then. I was a barbarian. Who wouldn't be a barbarian? Really, right? Hands down.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy.
I'd be a druid.
Yeah, I actually started as a druid, as a shapeshifter or berserker.
Given that particular game, I shifted to finding what else could be there. I went back to PC gaming after for the longest time, and eventually my wife gave me Talisman. Now, Talisman was a very long
Oh,
game.
okay. Like I
Very
was
long
going
game.
already. Like,
Yes,
how,
I like.
where are
Are we
we
one
headed?
title, or were we just working
Okay,
our way up to Talisman?
okay, I gotcha. I
There
gotcha.
you go. So obviously, from coming back to the tabletop scene after a hiatus of PC gaming and console gaming, and then I see Talisman with minis and statistics on each character. How could you not realize that, hey, this is an RPG that I've played in the computer once or something like that?
Mm.
And then boom, there you go. Open world. Wow. Open world board game. Sure. Why not? First thing I did after 2 months, I bought on Amazon the expansions that was still available. That was pretty hard to find, yeah. And then after that, everything is history. I used to, but okay, here's the thing. After Talisman, someone gave me Munchkin. Someone gave me Munchkin. And I'm sorry for the people who who appreciate this game. But I did not.
Just
I
so we're
didn't.
clear, are we doing
Boo.
all of the games already per person? Because before you jump
Boo.
into Munchkin, I'm going to take it off my list since he's like, okay.
And
Boo.
this
Go
is the
ahead,
base
George.
game. This is base game. This is base game Munchkin. And boy, did I decide in my life to move away from games like that. I decided I am not gonna enjoy something like this. Although the traitor mechanic was a bit impressive. But remember, Munchkin already tells you ahead of time in the game itself that everyone's killing each other more or less at surviving. See the conflict. And then I moved away from those kind of card games. Monopoly Deal was a hot item back then, early
Yes, there was a
It was.
time where
We had one.
every
There was only
college,
every
This is like a time
yeah,
capsule of terrible choices.
diba? And then it was only sold for what 300 pesos back in SM malls, a toy shop, the toy shops over there. Hey,
Along
no
with
one no one realized it was that good. And then came Avalon. That's when I realized, hey, a game can be played with just for your voice. The
There's
game that
Mafia.
actually well, I never, was Mafia available here in the Philippines back then? I mean, how
now, actually, there used to be a game
yeah.
that you would use a deck of cards. Like somebody would be the ace in the group, and basically you just all sit around in a circle and continue talking, and someone will wink at you.
Yeah,
If
that was the old game.
you are dead,
Oh,
and there is somebody in the group that is also detective that would be like a king, that is supposed to find the killer, and everyone
Yeah.
else
That's
is
mean.
just, just continue your night.
The
Yeah.
whole
That's
time,
mean.
winking at everyone.
The
And
thing is, every time we had a deck of cards and beer on the side, we would play King's Drink. And no other game would get us any drunker
they'll
than
always
that.
do this, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll do that.
That
See,
is
basically
that's
it.
called
There you
Indian
go.
poker.
That kind of game. Look at that. So where was I? Avalon, lying to each other, straight in your face, trash talking when you can to hide that you're the killer and all that. Yeah, why not? Sure. And then the rest is history.
That's how you get
But those
RPGs.
there are a bunch of titles there that I had listed, so I'm going to edit.
Gio, look
Go
at
ahead.
this.
Go.
Yeah.
So while you're editing that,
Oh, that
while
is
you're editing
beautiful.
No, I am ready. But I actually just wanted
That's
to make
Disney
it
cast?
one title at a time. But you can
Okay.
go ahead.
So let me just go through, because like I again super thank you for everyone who's really joining in the conversation here.
Yay! I see Chico D. Mooncake!
So-
Mooncake fan!
so-
Woohoo!
Hey,
I'm sorry. Okay, go on,
Speaking
Ron.
of yeah, so sorry.
Yes,
Speaking of
I
old
also-
classic games, yeah,
show
look
show
at that.
him Chocoti.
Chocoti,
It's
Chocoti. I was what do you call that?
Mooncake!
I just realized that all these old games came from even 1990s old computer games.
What does that say
And-
about your age?
Uh, but I am
That is our age
very
group.
well enough. Yeah, my age group is just fine. We've been
Fine wine.
I actually have a friend right now who's actually has a stream right now. His stream is Nostalgic Rhino. He actually plays
okay.
these old pixelated games, and yeah,
Oh, that's beautiful.
from Monkey Island to Descent and
Oh,
Space
One.
Quest,
please tell,
Legends
tell
of Piranha.
Prince
Oh,
of Persia
man.
on top of this.
Hey,
All right.
hit him up and suggest all
All
those
right.
games. All right, cool.
Okay, so Melvin, comic book collector, and did Magic the Gathering player in the 90s. You could see from his profile picture that he has a nice classic Magic the Gathering blue card. I'm not entirely sure. Is that a
That's
counter
heavy.
spell?
No, it's not. Sorcery. Target player discards all cards from his or her hand, and then, I'm actually not sure what that card is.
Huh, interesting. If we saw the casting cost, we probably could find it. That's the main thing.
Just look
So
at
anyway,
the logo
favorite
from what
text
set
there.
it came from.
It seems a little bit modern. Wilson also mentioned he did Pokemon TCG. I also got to try Pokemon TCG, but apparently he collected all the badges, which was super cool. I have a friend who we
wow.
always joke around because he's a physical trainer. Like he teaches fighting, Filipino martial arts, MMA, and stuff. But he
Pragma?
used to play Pokemon, and so he was an actual gym leader. Like
It's not just a play of words.
it's not a it's like dude, you're like a real life
You're
gym
living
leader.
Did you do Pokemon Go when it was hot?
No,
Aw,
I did not. I
come
did not.
on.
I tried, but it was dangerous. Like I saw people driving around and then suddenly stop because they were
That's
catching
wrong.
stuff.
Because that's
In so the GPS in Makati is so bad that
GPS.
that it's funny because people are like just like it was an in thing to do to walk that era like at night. So people are just blocking the CBD part.
right,
because
right,
of-
right. Because there are some
Catching
Pokemon that
Pokemon.
just appear on that area.
Right.
Pokemon Go, right? That's the
Right.
game.
Melvin mentioned his first experience with tabletop, TSR, Conan tabletop
Oh, I
RPG.
know that. I know that.
He was a DM for their basketball team. That's cool. Took a second chance. How it went for meatheads and a geek rolling dice. Awesome stuff.
I got
Um,
confused with Conan and basketball, so there's a basketball team in Conan.
Some athletes have can make some really good backstories or can really play on the fly for RPGs, man.
all right.
Oh,
Ivan also mentioned Monopoly Deal. Melvin
Right? It is
also
Ron's version of Monopoly Deal.
I think
Cops and
Melvin's
Robbers. Isn't it like a child's
no, I,
game?
I think I think Melvin's version of Mafia Killer was Cops and
Oh, okay,
Robbers.
gotcha. All right, and then Clid
The
also
budget.
says that their family hates Munchkin. I want to share a story there when it comes around my turn for Munchkin, but and then for Mafia, uh,
Mafia.
and then
Mafia. Mafia
Ron and
slash
Chipak
werewolf.
is talking about your Chocotee.
Mooncake. That's what he said. Doom Eternal. Hey,
Yes.
he's from Twitch.
Battleship.
Okay.
And
Hey,
then
Twitch.
Jay mentions Battleship. That's. Did you see the movie? Like it was a bad movie,
That has nothing to do
except,
with me.
We did not talk
except
about
for
that.
that moment.
I
Except
want
for
them. I want them to make the Queen's Gambit sequel be about Battleship.
like like everything in the movie was like super cheesy and like forced setup until they reach that point where they cannot fly, they can only jump, so and they're blind, so now they have to like cross out like bomb sectors. What?
I didn't even bother, but right now I'm not even gonna bother anymore.
Yeah, Ron, why did you even
Hey, we,
at the time of
It,
it?
that
yeah, was
moment
good.
was epic. Like they like whoa, wow. Like, you can look at the time and the amount of effort it took for them to finally be able to do that moment in real life. That for me made the movie.
I think that was fan service for fans of Battleship.
I guess
Hands of Battleship.
that was the only way that they could
TJ was also
justify it.
mentioning the movie adaptation was bad. I am saying it's not that it's not great, but but
Yeah, no
that
one's arguing
moment
with you that one, man.
where they were able to engineer to actually go okay, B1. Oh, nothing happened because the ship can't
Are you
move.
serious?
I'm not
Are
kidding.
you serious?
Have you seen the Doom movie with The Rock? Like the
Yes.
last 5 minutes, they put it on first person perspective just so
Yeah.
that they can say it's Doom.
Yep.
They could have made the whole movie like that. You know, that would be better.
Hey,
Which
there was this
which is what
movie.
Hardcore Henry is.
That one. It was
That's
like
very big
first
movie.
person everything.
Hardcore Henry. Yeah.
No. It won't be a first person like proper first person movie if I don't see their profile in front of me looking at me on the screen. Like
Yung head of ganun head.
Yeah.
if
100% is like,
when you hear him smile.
this is a whole different category for a whole different.
I love that.
Right.
All right,
We have to
go
move
ahead,
forward.
Zappy.
All right. So, okay, I'll go next, but I'll keep mine short. So we've already done the whole where we got started on like multiple episodes already. So I don't need to go over Magic the Gathering and like getting into board games through Ascension and deck builders. Basically, when I did get into tabletop, it was really with just essentially deck building games like Coup. There's a lot of like intro games that we started with, but one of the very first ones that stuck to me that I really did enjoy, and I wasn't expecting it because I'm not really the type that likes economic games, but like I do like competitive, I do like strategy and war, but I got to play Power Grid, and that was like it was a lot of math, but for some weird reason everything clicked.
math.
I understood it and I really liked it. And that was like, I don't mind having a paper money game again. Like, I want this in my collection and I can kind of see this as a gateway to people for people that were used to Monopoly. So
Yep.
that was the first one that definitely shaped the way that I like how I collect games. That it made me relate to other titles that I think that would get people into the hobby. So that's why it stuck to me. I never got it in my collection, and I've only played it twice, but I really enjoyed my experience with Power Grid. So
I
there,
haven't
that's
played it
It's
yet.
great,
Guys keep
Mike.
on saying we should play.
we can kind of bounce back and forth. I don't want my list is kind of long, so let's go to Denmark.
What?
Wait,
I can go.
what?
All
Wait,
right, I can.
I can keep
So,
going.
so I want to bounce off from Javi. I also wanted, well, same thing. So Munchkin. Before I go to Power Grid, Munchkin. I just watched, a lot of a whole new super epic episode from Tabletop. I was getting into. Hey Justin,
Hey,
I was
Justin.
getting into the whole genre. I'm like listening to every podcast from Dice Tower. I'm watching every episode. I'm watching the board game night from BGG, like everything. I was just like trying to absorb. I was geeking out, and so they had this episode about Punchkin. It's like, wow, such an epic! Like it's an RPG and all of this. And I saw in the store, I saw Munchkin RPG zombies. It's like there's no way you can go wrong with this.
Mm.
So many ways. So, let me throw in my 2 cents. When I got started and I wanted to build my collection, one of the first few games that I ended up with, one of the first games I got was a secondhand copy of Ascension from my friend Iman. Along with that, he also offered me Munchkin with 2 expansions, and we got to try it. I played it with my siblings, with my girlfriend. It was good. It worked, and so I had it in my collection. And when I was starting Team Tabletop with my fellow gamers, that they wanted, like, oh, let's play some games that we think that we can teach people. I taught the Munchkin, and we had one of the worst games ever. Half an hour of everyone failing every monster fight.
Because you're not helping each other.
No, no, I mean, none of us could progress. And they just
Exactly.
found like, is this really what this game is? I'm like, yep, and just like threw it away. Gone.
So,
That's good.
so
Go back to
I,
chess.
I joined up a regular open game night then.
Who just
At that
plays
time.
Munchkin?
No, 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 no. So they're
The
playing
other
the normal
group
game.
that only
I
plays
got
Munchkin.
They gotta beat
And,
that guy who plays Monopoly 8 players by himself.
so people were bringing out the games that they would like to play. So everybody got their turn. So when it was my turn, and I said, "Hey, I wanna try Munchkin next," and I really felt the discrimination from people because they were like, "Oh,
It
I'm
emanates.
gonna be joining that game." Like they like scattered away. I'm like, what's wrong with Munchkin? And a friend of mine who was like, bless him for being kind. It's like, okay, like he knew it was a bad game, and it's like, okay, let's go and play it. And he just sort of really like it was my first foray into like reading the table and like how's everybody feeling. And I really sensed that they were just really
Going through the
getting
motions.
through it so that they can support me because they knew that I was new to the hobby and they're just being kind. That's also when I realized, whoa, this game it doesn't really work much when like players are actually thinking about like how to win and not just sort of the humor of it. So that's kind of my sort of pivot from okay, I don't think I'm gonna be liking a lot of these sort of action take that games anymore. Not as much because of that moment with Munchkin where okay, if like I want more games with a little bit more depth, I'm not gonna get that from Munchkin. And if I want it lighter than Munchkin, then it has to be super light. Like it has to be like like one of my favorite take that, it's not really a take that because you're just adding numbers, is straw. Because it's just you really just throwing numbers and
Straw is
then looking at
teaching you
the
how
next
to
guy.
add.
Yeah, you're just
Man.
looking at the next guy and you're just like, you're just doing this, right? Until like there's no more
Yeah.
rope
Until
left.
there's like 40, right? 40 or 50. I forgot.
Whatever, because people can throw the negative numbers. So it's a very, very light game, but then it works, right? That's like, so I had that new benchmark now of like, when does player elimination and take that, what's the barrier where, okay, I can't play that type of game if it's just really that. So there, go ahead then. Oh, and Power Grid, agree, it was 3 hours, but it was the most epic 3 hours. Like, what, a game can be this complex and it's still fun, how? And then I read
It
up.
can, I didn't know
3
math was
hours.
fun.
Zombies.
I want to do one more round, but we don't have enough time.
No, we have enough time. It's okay. We can do 3 hours.
What? We can? What happened was, I would like to mention Melvin here. He's been mentioning video games,
Yes, go ahead.
transitioning. The reason why he had board games is because of those games that he was playing during earlier times in the PC, and he was looking for games that would translate into
Gotcha.
board games. That's why it's like Heroes of Might and Magic is the reason for Runebound and Mage Knight. And yung pipitikin daw yung ballpen sa base, kalaban yung...
Shooting stars. That's shooting
it, be-
stars.
it became flick him up for
Wait,
him.
wait. You gotta make a base first, right? You gotta draw
Yeah,
your base.
corner.
And on your corner, you're gonna make a lot of sort of these pointy thingies because that's the only place you can launch missiles. Otherwise,
Right.
it has to be yeah.
So it's amazing how that transition
Cannons.
happened,
Yeah, there was
right?
cannons.
Computer games to board games, and it's still happening now. Like recently, we were talking about Clint's Bloodborne, that stack that's really
The tower?
taller than
Bloodborne
people.
Tower?
Yeah, it's a computer game, video game translated into board games. I also like trump
The
cards.
game is quite pricey because you have to buy a shelf for it.
Do you guys remember trump cards?
Super
I had-
Trump.
Yeah, I had
Super
the race
Trump. Yeah,
car.
cars.
I had the
Cars.
race car and
I love the tanks.
battleship.
Or both.
Matter. Like there's no like difference mechanically, right? It's tanks and ships. But I love the tanks more for whatever reason.
I
There's
had
no-
weird ones, man. Like I had the race car one. I had one that was naval warships, and the other one was weirdly commercial airlines.
I remember that.
I remember Concord. Concord was the highest card.
Yeah. That was a super truck. Of
That was
course.
Super Trump. And it was so funny how we would also rank the flags, the nations, right? Oh, mine's US. Everything gets defeated by US.
Which doesn't
Did
make
you
sense.
guys do that? No. Even the
Yes,
flags
yeah.
have ranks.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
man.
it was a local thing because it depends on like what
The-
history.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're bringing it out now. There's
Yes,
Trump
they
cards
are bringing back-
reprints.
Are Super Trumps again.
Right. I'm scared of my list. Clint called me out. He was like, "Why wouldn't anyone want to share?" Scared for my list. Anyway, I also
ready.
went.
Oh,
I
this-
also went with Munchkin. Our family enjoyed it, but only for quite some time. And it was an inside joke because Javi really hated Munchkin, and I was trying to find a game that Javi liked that I would hate, and that would be Smash Up. But I don't really hate Smash Up. It's just too much
I
bloat.
really
Your wife loves Smash Up.
It's just too much bloat.
Kind of led me towards collecting. Like I wanted it.
I
all.
had Smash
But
Up too.
eventually you just like, wait, there's too much that you'll never get to play any
Right.
of it.
And there was a time that the over 9,000 expansion was so difficult to acquire. The one with
Oh,
the Bear Cavalry.
I got it at the same time.
Oh
I
yeah, there was
wanted
a
I
time.
wanted to get the almost um the one where it's practically IP and they could be sued, but it's
Oh,
not. It's like all
The one with the
yes.
parody.
Star Wars and the
It's called season
300.
6.
The one that what made you
This
what
was
did you
your
make us
fault.
do?
This was
This
your
yeah,
fault.
this,
No,
this is your fault.
that's the fan submission set. The one that
Yeah.
Ron's talking about is called cease and desist. That's why because
Oh.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
needed
yeah, yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
authorization.
Yes, yes. I when I saw that, I actually wanted to
Go
like
back.
it was daunting to see everything. I think that's the challenge with a lot of these sort of big epic series, because the thing about board gamers, we like buying, and sort of also part of the hobby is perusing new copies, perusing new games, new systems,
The
discovering
thing
those
that
kind of things.
for me
Hmm.
was here's the big geeky box, and then like, oh, there's the bigger, geekier box. Like, God.
Yes.
I
No.
felt bad
At
about
that time,
that.
you had to step away. By that
So,
time,
How could
So,
you?
I also started with those early games. Avalon, um, Quirkel, Takenoko, Betrayal, Pandemic, all those. My first
I would mention one of those that really kind of
Tokaido. I
stuck
forgot.
out for
Okay.
me. When we're going through hidden role games, I know that okay, Avalon and like Coup and stuff like that are Werewolf is kind of overdone. One Night Ultimate Werewolf, but um, one game in particular stuck out to me till this day, and that's Citadels. Like I
Hmm.
really enjoyed Citadels.
Citadels. Oh wait,
And
isn't
that
is that
kind of also
branded
influenced
to
my taste for
You
games.
Dice
know,
Tower?
by
I have
duty.
one terrible game of it that never play one on one. Citadels. It
Why
is
would you play one
horrific.
on one?
You draft two characters at a time, and I ended up not playing the game. Like I got shut out every round.
In the first place, why would you play one on one?
Wait while waiting for people.
Anyway,
You're
my
the
first
king. You're dead. Okay.
foray into me understanding that hey, I could play different games was surprisingly Sid Meier's Civ with the
Hmm.
Fame and Fortune expansion. And I was dragged
Wow.
into that game because I didn't know any better.
Another
That it
3-hour game.
I didn't know any better that it would actually reach 3 hours.
Hmm.
I was Japan, and I almost won. Just one more level for the tech tree, but stupid Russia had to invade my land and had to beat me up. So hey, I can play this game. These games are epic. These games you really feel like your decisions are meaningful, and everything else matters. Whatever decision you do will actually matter. So that's when I found out that I could actually play board games a step higher than the usual ones like Pandemic, Takenoko, Tokaido. So, and I fell in love with that type of game, strategy games. And slowly, the next thing that I bought was you guys have played this, The World of Smog and Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I
That
like that
was
game.
the first one that I actually said that hey, I'm gonna be serious in this type of games. And I actually like those games where it's kind of like a puzzle that you need to figure out, but it's a constantly moving puzzle that you have to also adapt at the same time. So that's exactly what the game is. There are nine um, circles that keep on moving, changing
Right.
prices, because you're trying to collect things by buying them, but the prices keep on changing. People keep on blocking you. There's even this one card where it says rotate the board
Yeah.
180 degrees, and it means the whole board. so,
The whole board.
so
Yeah.
whatever your starting resource is gets rotated. So I
Yeah.
was like, hey, I think I can play these types of games, and it's interesting and keeps me um, engaged. Like if he does that, I have this option. If he doesn't, I have this, and somehow I figured that actually Ron pointed it out, and that's how my brain actually works. Endless possibilities and trying to
Yeah.
counteract whatever it
So
is.
we had a long discussion of like why my brain couldn't work out Scythe, and my brain wouldn't unlock like how Stegmeyer would design, well, when Jamie designs his games. And it's mainly because I don't do permutations. Like my brain's not designed for that. I'm very tactical. I can see the options and quickly find like best routes. But if the route connects to something that goes back, it can't work anymore.
His brain
Because then
shut down.
my brain is gonna quickly go there as well, and then spin out all the stuff again, and then I'm now back in the same loop. But then Mark, that's totally fine. It's just his brain just does this with like the computations, and then finds like
And
the best possibilities. And I guess that's why I also had a difficult time with the Smog game, kind of because of that. Maybe.
so
Yeah, I really like that game, man.
after I played that, I was like, hey, what are other games that are quote unquote Euros? Because for me, that felt like a Euro game already, and it's a good thing that we had this open game night when we were still in Coco Hot. And Alvin will always arrive early, and it'll just be me, Alvin, and Erwin, and somebody else who's gonna come early. And Alvin introduced me to Zolkin,
So okay.
and I like that mechanic where the longer you delay your action, the more rewards that you get. It just so happens that Alvin has played it a million times and he knew how to break the game. So,
Did you
plus
win?
those skulls, those cute blue skulls that you get. And then the next thing that he showed me was viticulture. Fell in love with viticulture and Cyclades, Kemet, and so on and so forth. And then finally, Scythe. That's how.
I do too, Clint. I do too.
Even though it almost killed us twice,
Yeah.
We won in the air.
literally killed us twice.
I was there that night.
The whole kitchen was exploding, and we were playing board games.
Must finish.
Literally. Okay, so to finish off, so that I won't go back and just bounce off from you guys because this is the part that I didn't like. I was afraid of. The first one was my luck really sucks, except when I married my wife. Yeah.
Good comeback.
Good play. Good play, sir. Good play.
I really don't like dice games. Even in company raffles, I know I'm gonna get the least price, the worst price. Everybody will get the flat screen TV. You're gonna get the plancha. And then that was
Yeah,
it.
at least you won.
Because everybody will get the prize, right? So knowing my luck,
Ah, okay.
knowing my luck, I really stay away from dice games that actually make the decision for you and you can't mitigate it.
Roll
But if
to
you
the
can
zone.
mitigate it at some way, fine. Maybe I can play that. And then games that are old in theme and really dry. I have to say, Uwe is the one who's always the culprit in this one. All his games, most of his games, especially the
Most
one
of his
the
older
A
games.
word, the A
Yeah.
word and the C word.
That
But the one that actually
Designed, and it's time to pick a theme. But they pretty much just go back to the same.
You know
like,
his new
oh,
game, Holler Tau? Holler Tau is about farming. It's the same thing. So those types of games, the culprit for me was Glassworks. And because of that, I was like, this type of games are not for me. And the last one, and this is where I'm gonna log off after I say this, and it's up to you guys to run the show. Was
wow.
Say it.
the last game that I knew was not for me was Terraforming Mars. That's that game that actually told me that I will not like games that are that are like Terraforming Mars.
Denmark, you have shocked no one.
Okay, cool. Thank you. No, but I think it goes with the art and how long it takes for you to just draft cards. I mean, there are other games that could do it better. It's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it is not for me. I'd rather have viticulture or
Yeah, right.
Please,
I mean,
Side
in
I,
Spider
scores.
I,
Man, you
I,
have two decisions. You can either go left or right. It's
Yeah.
not entirely your fault.
no, but you see, I get Denmark's point that the reward and the time that you put into the game, like, look, Game of Thrones is an amazing game, but
Mm.
after like 3 to 4 hours, I don't really feel like the end is worth it. That's why I
Yep.
play Battle for Rokugan.
There.
Agree, agree. I think um, Terraforming Mars is much like the era of Twilight Struggle,
It's a
where
good game. Don't get me wrong.
Twilight Struggle, it's a fantastic game, but it's so cutthroat. Like the game has so much depth, and people are competing. At that time, like even you trying to learn the game, the gap between the ones who know how to play and the ones who are just
So
coming in
huge.
are is so huge that there's no way for you to just to enjoy it. There's You will be crushed without you even understanding what's going on.
It's like La Harve.
Naglaro ka pa, di ba?
They
Yeah.
should put that on the box. You
You're
will
selling
be
Kit Kit.
crushed.
but so Twilight Struggle is 1-on-1. I love the history. I love every mechanic of every card. It just plays 3 hours though, and it's just the two of you. Then at
Watergate.
least for yeah, so the more modern ones like figured out what makes those games very interesting, but still allows you to come in, give a bit of randomness because you still need some randomness in the game. Otherwise, if it's too clinical, like chess, for example, then again it goes back to that: if somebody has mastered the game, there's no way for you to win because they see all the permutations and see all the chances, and there's no way for you to solve it, not unless you can do something that they haven't seen before. Which, sure. Um,
Okay. So Sim says Carcassonne made me like tile laying games as the
Yeah.
minion to
Yeah,
deck building
that's a
games.
good point.
I think
That was a good tile game, yeah.
who else mentioned Carcassonne? Okay, that was
Catan
him.
introduced
Yeah.
me to board games beyond classics such as Scrabble and Monopoly. And this
Yeah.
one, push cubes to play cards to push cubes.
Still good though.
Yeah.
Agree, agree. I
As long as the
prefer
cards.
Race for the Galaxy more, even if I still am really bad with Race for the Galaxy. I like Roll for the Galaxy more.
So again, people transitioning from video games to board games.
Yeah,
Uh,
Waterdeep. Yes,
Waterdeep.
that was a really good start for board gaming.
I
sir.
gravitated towards Lords of Waterdeep and Story Rich games, which is ironic because
Story
Lords of
rich.
Waterdeep is not is
No,
not
but
theme
I,
heavy.
I will argue for that because the agendas, the houses, that
Okay,
the
Yeah.
fine, fine,
flavor, they
sure,
intended for it to have. I mean, it's built with existing lore. It just both didn't click. What you're
sure.
doing in the game and all of that story that they put in the game did not like mesh together. So you're like, I am getting white cubes to finish this mission.
They're
What's the
called
mission? 20
priests,
points.
sir.
That's
They're
Very.
called priests.
it's called 20 points.
And last one for our comments is Mansions of Madness. Second, and I have that. I had that too.
Oh, applications. Yes.
Ron
Apps.
has Middle Earth, and
Yeah.
I used to have
Journeys of Middle
Arkham
Earth. Yeah.
LCG.
Yes.
So wait,
Cthulhu theme games. Sige,
that is action. So, Keo, did you have any other games or did you go through your whole list already?
I'm okay. I could name more, but they're already beyond already similar. But
I totally answered wrong because I only gave like one title.
Same thing with me, which is fine. We can continue, Javi. They
Go
finished
ahead,
their list
go ahead.
already. So go ahead,
That's
Javi.
We
No,
jump
we'll
back
just keep
again.
bouncing
So
off.
I've done the origin enough times. But so when I was joining the tabletop community for the first time and starting my game collection, so one of the first games that I discovered that I did not know that economic games could be that good was Power Grid. Then my first foray into thematic games that like I really went out of my way to go buy a copy of Arkham Horror. And Like the rule
Those are
book,
good
it's
games.
a whole level of complicated that I learned from watching a YouTube, not even a tutorial, a playthrough, a 2 hour playthrough. That's the only way I was able to understand it. But I put so much time and effort that I wanted a thematic game, not like I was like playing Takenoko and stuff like that. That it. What is the big story? There wasn't no overarching story. So Arkham Horror, which then led to Dice Chucking, which were pretty much zombie side, which for a while was
Yeah,
one of the games that I was known for. That I had all
Zombies.
three versions of it with me every time I would go to any tabletop event, which
nice.
was also a pain in the ass to carry around.
Yeah.
I did mention Citadels. So these are like the positives. One game that also with the traitor mechanics that I really enjoyed was Shadows over Camelot.
Oh, that's a
That
good game
changed
too.
also a lot of how
Mm.
I like. It's not so much that you're just playing a game. You're playing with
It's
the table,
it's
the
poker, the
interaction.
board game,
Yeah,
right?
just like how co-op that you want everyone involved. You're not just taking your turn and being left alone like Euros. That games that
We
kept you
see.
engaged with the rest of the table worked so well for me. That's why so Avalon worked okay. Citadels, Shadows over Camelot, and then going towards the other side of it, I got to play like my brother decided that like, oh, I'm gonna buy board games for our collection, and he brought Quelf into our collection. And my God, that game is a migraine.
Everyone who is not familiar. What is 12, Abby?
Run away. So
He's not
12 is
even.
Explain.
one of those Cranium, Scrabble, Boulder Dash type games that it's not a classic and it's not really a modern day board game. These are one of those generically pushed party games. It's really an icebreaker. The board
Okay.
is just a path, a colored path of steps. And every time
That
you take a
whenever
step,
you see a path and there's like checkpoints on the path, and maybe even the path goes around, you know already, like, oh,
it's
stay
just like a
away.
team building exercise, seriously.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you just
The game of
literally
life.
take a step forward, the color tells you what to draw, and it's either a dare, a question, like a survey thing. So it's our rules for the game, like you had to put your shoe on top of your head for the duration of the game, that kind of dumb stuff. And that led me also to my decision that I really want to focus on games that were like a rewarding experience, not just gaming for the sake of gaming, not icebreakers. That this kind of took out like two rooms and a boom and stuff like that from my collection. So the other one that I wanted to bring up, so we did mention Munchkin. One other game that shaped the way that my taste in games are is Brass. um,
Yeah.
when my group was deciding what games we wanted to introduce to our tabletop community, the suggestion to try out Brass came up, and this was while we were also scouting for locations to actually put up a gaming club, and we spent near 4 hours learning and playing Brass, and it was just such a bad experience for me that I don't know, something in my head popped, and like the only thing that was missing was like a stream of blood coming out of my nose. Okay, we got bulldozed. The guy who taught us lapped us, like doubled our scores. Like I think if you combined all three of us, we still wouldn't make the first player's score. It was horrific. So that also taught me about like the time investment putting into a game and what you get out of it. So it steered me away from long games.
Long games. Okay.
So
What's
yeah, like
what's long for you, Javi? How long
Two
is
hours.
long game?
usually
That's
something
short.
that's something that goes past the 2 hour mark.
Told ya.
it is kind of already goes up for debate. That's when you start making that judgment.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
again, I'm
Called
bringing
it.
up the end also justifies the duration. I've played some long games. Like I've played Game of Thrones 4 hours that till this day, me and my cousins still talk about. Like it was that
That was
intense.
epic.
And there are also like 3 hour long food chain magnet games that I wanted to set the box on fire and beat the owner to death with it.
I mean that size of a box could do damage.
Right, while on fire, sure.
Sure.
Um, I are you anything else, Abby?
I guess I'll just throw in one or two more titles. I guess that might help. So Clank, yeah, I mean that was I love deck building and just to see what more you could do with it. Hell yeah! And Orleans, that it
Orleans.
is an arguable euro, but the whole bag building, it's so random, but you can still technically curve the random by only putting certain people in the bag for you to draw. I don't know. Denmark brought that out in one of our Cocoa Hut sessions, and till this day, I really enjoyed that experience, and so I've been wanting it in my collection ever since. And it does curve or kind of curb how I look at games when selecting something for my collection.
I think it's out of print now.
Which
Sell
one?
yours.
Orleans.
No,
You can sell yours?
No.
but just to add to mine,
Almost got me there.
uh, I for the longest time, like I would play Avalon with people, even though personally I don't like the experience. I don't like getting hyped up into like seeing people lie and stuff. But
But they're
I
just
think,
lying in the game.
yeah,
Oh, it's not
It,
it's not
it,
that you
it
lie.
carries over into the rest of the night
yeah, but like,
with casual
I think it stems from I had a really bad experience from BSG, Battlestar Galactica. We played, I don't know, maybe like a 3 hour game because and there was just four of us, 3 hours. And the whole time I spent it on the brig because my idiot friend who apparently
Cylon.
was the other human and the guy that I knew like from the beginning, like he's the bad guy and
Cylon.
like the Cylon. And but I had to go through 3 hours of that right after like a 3 hour game of Civ. So it was painful, and I'm like okay, especially
Ayoko.
for the game nights that we used to run. Those
Too
are like
long.
6 hours. That's a lot of. That's too much time already for
The store will
just
close.
going out and getting those last remaining, open hours or store hours for Starbucks, for example. So maybe you get like 4 hours, 5 hours, depending on the traffic. So we can't play too long of games. So I think that's probably how that was weaned out from the games that I like because even the theme and the systems and the frameworks are very cool. It's just too long. But the you guys are always familiar that I like multi-use cards, and the one that actually introduced me to the system was Innovation.
Oh,
Um,
I hate that game.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Whoever made that game needs to pay for what he's done to Ron.
No.
That
I
just went
hate
away.
play the cards right, play the cards left.
Yeah.
What the hell?
that one was so brilliant for me because it was like just one card and suddenly everything changes and the whole landscape of the game changes with just like one card. Of course,
Funny,
it was
funny how
super
that
random.
works for you, but Scythe doesn't.
Right.
No,
See?
because the decision ends. Like I don't know what else happens next. I don't have this. Oh, if you do this, you need to do this first, which needs this. But guess what? That thing needs that first thing,
Scythe has like 4 commands, and those cards can be
No.
played like 6 different ways.
which are looping. Have you seen the board? It always loops. The one that you want to do needs the one that's right beside it, needs the one right beside it, that needs the one that you wanted to do.
So
So now
sight
what?
teaches you priorities.
Yeah. Well, I've eventually learned to let go. That game is what taught me how to let go of things. Like, okay, fine. Let go. You're not gonna be able to perform this action
You
properly.
saw it that way? You took
Yes.
it as like let go?
Yes, that's how I play it now. I'm gonna let go. I'm not gonna try to make an efficient. I'm gonna let go of this column so that I can do this. Like I don't. Even if every time I look at it, I wanna do this more efficiently. I need wood. No, you don't. Just trade trade that or steal it from other people. But if I put wood first and I can build, no, you don't. Let go.
No, you don't.
I should make that as my message tone. No, you don't.
So yeah, so that was innovation. A big part of like me exploring what other multi-use cards. The very like my favorite one is actually the Brew Crafters card game, travel card game, because it's like wow, this is tableau building and euro and hand management and resource management with trading. Well, no trading, like converting, and but it's so small and just cards and
Is this
it's
the one with
super
the
fast.
poppy seeds? Is this the one with the poppy seeds?
The one with the hops and the
Oh,
malt
that one.
I
and the
thought you were
yeast.
gonna say, Motanai, and I was gonna lose my mind.
No, I
Is it this
remember I
one?
was yes that one. Yes.
Wait, no, that's
I,
microbrewers, but there's also Brew Crafters, the card game, right?
yes. So Brewcrafters the card game. The second edition is Micro Brewers.
Oh,
I
Mm.
It's
love
the same.
the Homesteaders one, the one that
The one
the
with
recent
the
one.
dice
That was good.
version. Oh, yeah,
That was
yeah.
good.
that's pretty fun. I remember I tried to teach Javi Motainai, and his expression was like he felt like a nerve just popped.
You could have started with Red 7, you know.
Everything
Oh,
just
Red 7 was so beautiful.
Red
See,
Seven,
even
Red, but I didn't get to try Red Seven. Like after Innovation, that's where I said like, okay, Carl Chudik's my man. What are your other games?
he's my guy. He's my guy.
Like, okay, what are you building? Let me at it. Right, so that's why it was so painful to me to see he did Impulse, and it's the most boring looking space thingy game. I couldn't make myself buy it, but there was this Polish publisher that made like a kick ass Moonrakers looking thing, but I did got to fund it because the shipping was too big,
Hi.
too high. But I should have, and I'm still waiting for the guy who does Tokyo Highway,
Oh,
um,
I forgot.
something Draper Games. So
the
he did
Tokyo
import
series?
export. Yes. So he did import export. That one I'm still super waiting for that to arrive. But yeah, so that one sort of like opened up this whole okay, I don't need to have all of these because one of the biggest problems, which again I'll introduce a game that I really love, but I had to sell it because there's no way I'm gonna be setting that up.
Panamax.
No. Panamax is still with me, and Panamax I deploy Panamax really fast because you got to do that because it takes like an hour to explain. I'm kidding. It doesn't take an hour to explain. It takes 15 minutes to explain,
It
but
takes
it
an
will take
hour
me
and a
45
half
minutes
to explain.
understand what I just said. It's like you said what again? You said what? Again? And you have to keep coming back to this. We lost Denmark. I just topped Denmark.
You-
So what's this game? What's the game that you're talking about that that you did want to set
So
up?
Bold
I
with wishes.
no, it's it's Heroescape.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
It's
The
an old
classic
game.
Fury.
oh
Okay,
man,
so
that game.
Heroescape is such a beautiful game. Like it, and even if it's dice chucking, but it has this really cool system of like targeting. And fine, it's dice, but you can have a lot of units, and your sort of not so great units can still chip off away the big guy, but the big guys can just stomp on like the smaller units because they are smaller. So then the dice isn't a problem, but because they're big, everybody can see them and stuff. The main attraction for Heroescape is, of course, the terrain. Like, you can build this up like Lego, and it's massive. I had my copy. We were able to fill up like that long table in Starbucks. That one full as like a maybe this high of a cave. Dragon is up top. We have to sort of climb up this mountain while they're sending their troops down. It was awesome and epic. The problem is, before you play the game maybe takes an hour. It also takes an hour to set it up. With you going like, is it this way? Then you connect it, and then you realize after a few tiles, no, we're looking at it wrong. It's this way, and you got to do that all over again. And yeah,
That's how I
Yeah.
felt about the zombie side. Eventually, the scenarios get so big. They like, constructing it. It's like if I'm building this, we're playing it. We're gonna
I'm not making this. I'm not teaching you and just leaving it here.
try
Yeah.
like an hour building this, and we die in the first 6 turns.
At least you played it, right?
like some guy decides to shoot into your zone of a zombie. It's like, no, I can make it. I can make it. No, no, just run over here first. Take some of the hits.
Get
It's
here.
fine. I'm gonna make it. And then all the hits goes to your peers.
Don't
Yeah.
make a hero.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
Yeah.
games that the setup is just wow.
Yeah,
Legendary.
legendary.
That would
Exactly.
be our. That would be one of our next episodes.
It's actually not that hard in setup. It's actually putting it back in the box that's longer.
That's another game. That's part of board gaming.
Yeah, that's why
Placing
that's
everything
why
back.
That
everybody
comes
who
with-
loved Mystic Veil
No,
fell in love with it more. Okay,
No.
that's why
Take it
I have to
apart.
qualify. Everybody who loved Mystic Veil
No,
fell in love with it
no
more
one loves Mystic
with
Veil.
the app. The Mystic Veil app is super good.
Because it
You
does
gotta
everything.
try it because you don't have to sleeve it yourself anymore and unsleeve.
Sleeve
I-
it.
The worst
I
part
have-
is it's unsleeving it because the uncouth bad
he's
people,
not even gonna finish the sentence.
you know, like you go,
When
okay,
I already have
it's,
my
it's the
mind
new
made up for games.
it's a new hype. Let's play Mystic Veil. We bring it out. We're in the cafe and we realize whoever played it before just stuck it all back in. So we had to like didn't even arrange it. They just stuck it all back in. So we're like, okay, but we're tabletop advocates, so we gotta fix this because we know if we leave it back, we're now complicit of the bad behavior. So there we go. 30 minutes of because you have to go and look whether there's a card and the
That's
slave
why you
and
don't play that game. No.
Yeah.
Those games. That's a
Too
topic
unique,
for another episode. But yeah, when people don't put games back in proper order, I've had this happen to me so many times. It's great.
All right. Okay. Any
Yeah.
other games that you guys want? Last mention before we say goodbye and till our next episode. And
Boggle.
also the ones who are watching, get in the games. Maybe we could agree with you or you can disagree with us. It's okay.
Well, yeah. Again, super thank you for everyone who joined the conversation. is nice to sort of remember, like, why do you now prefer the games that you like buying? Like, why is it an instant buy now for certain games? Like, I have that sort of, you know,
I
impulse
just
already
I just
because
remembered.
I can
Okay.
trust this style of game, or I know I will like this style of game.
I just remembered that while we were talking about it and reminiscing about our board game nights at Coco Hut, I remember one factor now why I buy games is the length. And game nights taught me that I cannot play games that are like 2 hours long. An
Yeah,
hour and a
because
half
we might not
is the
finish.
sweet spot, right?
Yeah,
And I just figured out that most of my games are on that time frame.
yeah.
120
I
minutes is
think
max.
I think it's gonna be a local thing, especially for us who volunteer on the open game nights. That's gonna be the tendency because you don't have the luxury of it's your house and it doesn't matter whether it takes 6 hours to play.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we love Bacon. The food in our convention, Board
Uh,
Gaming Advocates Enthusiast Convention,
uh,
2020 something, right?
Something.
hopefully,
Whenever that will happen.
hopefully.
Something.
Oh, there was a Tokaido with Bob Ross. Are you serious? Oh no,
Ah,
okay.
okay.
So I thought there was.
Why we call
No,
Hokkaido
don't
with Bob
scare
Ross?
us.
That's an auto
Wouldn't be.
buy.
That's an
That
auto
is a
buy. Wait.
That's a game that I did kind of remember now that I wanted to bring up. I'm not sure if any of you were familiar with this, but around the time that I started, I was playing a lot of AEG games. Have any of you gotten to play Cheaty Mages?
Yes,
yes.
Yeah, yes,
it's a
yes,
fun
yes.
game.
That was one of the games that also kind of shaped how I enjoy some
Stupid
games.
art, but a crazy game.
When it comes down to Rise of Augustus, but it's like bingo. Cheaty Mages felt like it's just some kind of weird betting game. So
It is a betting game,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
you manipulate everything, and I think I enjoyed teaching it a lot and watching how people would like not exactly stab each other in the back,
No,
but
just ruin their plans. Foil.
how so did we play like wasn't it like downforcers at Formula Day that you also kind of move the cars around and you secretly have
Downforce.
yes, that's
Downforce.
essentially mages too.
Yeah.
He made the scar.
Cheating Mages is the best. It's like your dragon becomes
that
a
was
0,
hilarious.
your goblin becomes a 10, and everything else in
Like,
between.
oh, I'm losing. Large size.
See, that I think is sort of the interesting balancing act about, like, like Melvin said, he likes very involved games to sort of really head on long games. But if it's for shorter games, you want it very intense, like the Clint's WWE
That was fun.
I wanna try
SmackDown. Is it
The Royal
SmackDown?
Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
thing.
It is it's so fast. Like, you have no chance to feel sadness about
Hurt.
that
To feel
you were
hurt.
eliminated. It's like, hey, you like,
And
it's like,
gagged on.
it's
See
funny
the
because you're like, I just lost the Undertaker, and you wanted to feel sorry, and then like and suddenly this new character is handed out to you. Don't be sad anymore. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go.
Unless you
Like,
get a
oh, him.
Saki superstar. Unless you get the Saki superstar. But you go,
Whatever. It's funny because
Like terrible ones in that game.
yeah.
there are,
There are a lot
but
of
it's
terrible
funny
ones.
in the sense that I think it's that they've most modern good ones have realized, okay, if we wanna do a little bit of player elimination, we kind of like let them feel that a little bit for a short amount of time, then throw them back in.
Don't let them revel in their pain.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Oh, you're gone?
classic
Get
werewolf,
that in.
30 players, right? 30 players, and you're killing one person a night. So that's 30 rounds, or whatever the case is. Probably not 30 rounds.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but
man.
everybody's just like watching on the side. Like, the game's done, but you people are just there talking. I did it once. I didn't know any better. It took me, I think, maybe a good hour and a half to run it. They had fun because they didn't know any better too. They weren't really like gamers, so they did complain. But now knowing what I know, it's like, oh, never ever do that again.
All right. Okay. Thank you for joining us, everybody. And we had fun reminiscing.
And we hope we made sense. If
We did. I think so.
I'm not sure. I didn't comprehend entirely what I. Somewhat. So it just shows like we're very diverse and open to
Oh
different
yeah,
kinds of games.
this episode has made it very clear that like what we look for in games are just
Are
so
really
different.
different. So different.
True.
Like Kyo, I would rarely have the games that you prefer on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
True.
I think
yeah.
you'd
We get
you'd
excited
like
about
Death May
different
Die.
games, different
Yes.
components. I get excited about cubes. You
No,
guys,
no,
Run,
No.
just
nope.
for a moment.
There's three of us here and just one of you. No, no,
I get excited about cubes.
no, Ron. It's not gonna work now.
I need a shirt. I need a shirt.
I
Tell us
get
if you're
excited
gonna
with
buy that.
cubes. Hey, in bacon, that would be so cool. We have our bacon logo here, and on the back is your coat.
Yeah.
I get excited with
Every
cubes.
time someone reads it out loud, there has to be a voice further back, like, "Lord!"
God, I miss
No-
bacon. No judgment.
No judgment here.
I know, right?
Nope, you're the only one who loves cubes here in this group.
I know. It's fine.
Friends are not here.
Like it's inversely proportional to how when I see miniatures too on a game, it's like, ooh, miniatures. It's like,
Hey,
it's like,
my reaction is, oh, miniatures.
I know, right?
There's a
My-
middle
I-
ground here. There's a
Just
middle
doesn't
ground.
have a traitor mechanic.
There's a middle
Traitor
ground.
mechanic.
Court of
I
the
like
Dead. Kyo will like the miniatures. Ron will play Court of the Dead.
Yes,
So there's the middle ground.
Again, I don't mind play. I love playing Kemet. It's one of the few games that I have miniatures. So but there's still kind of cubes to me. Except that they are cooler. So I
I have
agree with
no
that.
idea how you can see cubes on detailed figs.
No, not the monsters. The monsters are like
Excellent.
really auras, but like all of your other units are generic. They could have been cubes. Totally fine.
AR.
Again,
I know,
Alright.
a black
PTR
cube
cannot
is
be
not
done
a
without
knight.
cubes. Yes.
Imagine
not
if they made
A black
GTA
cube is a rogue.
It's a rogue. It's a rogue.
Okay.
A blue
That- I
cube is a
think-
wizard. Please.
The orange is a warrior.
Lords of Waterdeep, I think, was on the extreme where like it extracted too much and was really just a Euro with a pasted on theme. That's the problem with it.
White
That's
supremacy.
why people feel the disconnect.
I like it with the upgraded pieces that it's actual like it the
I know.
instead
I know that one was cooler.
like the actual people you're hiring. It
Yep.
really makes it become Dungeons and Dragons, the HR game.
Yes, exactly. You're still
Adventurers here that want to go to quests.
you're just you're just there. Here ye. Need 4 clerics, 1 mage.
Also, I find it so weird. This is like, you walk into a tavern and there's 5 clerics. Like, no, just 2 of you.
I
But
don't
I
care.
traveled here from the previous continent.
HR has a budget.
All right, Ron, take us home.
All right. Well, before we get lost into randomness again, Thank you everyone for joining us for another fun episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And again, feel free to share and comment, all of the other things that shaped your board gaming journey. I know it's been fun, and it's going to be continuously fun as we share this hobby to more people. Uh, at the moment, we are not able to play, and that's fine. There will be a time again where we do get to meet face to face
Bacon.
at the table, and we are looking forward to that. But until that time, just stay tuned, and we'll be back here again next week. Thank you everyone for joining. Until
Like,
next time.
share, subscribe. Don't play Quelf.
Don't play tough.
Play
Play
your
old
own
games.
games. All right.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. The games that we're talking about here are all old games. If those are interesting, seek them out, try them out. Until next time.
Right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.